Hi, everyone. Welcome. Sita here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Maybe someone or a few of you could put in the chat volume is good or a thumbs up. Oh, great. Thank you, Jane. We're really happy to be here. John and I are going to tag team this training a little bit with you guys. You may or may not know we have twins, so one of us always needs to be their little twins, 16-month-old twins. So one of us always needs to be away, but that's fine. So John's going to do the teaching component in terms of going over fascia. We want to make sure that you guys understand that. We want to make sure you understand how to stretch it and address it. And then we're really excited. We're going to do this training a little bit differently than we have in the past. We want to get some feedback from you, and we're going to teach some stretches or I should say, John's going to teach some stretches based on stuff you guys have going on, and the whole audience can experience the results in whatever area happens to be the focus. Of course, we're not going to be able to cover everything that everybody has, but we should be able to get a really nice sampling in, and we'll also he'll do some stretches with you that are universally good for all of us. So, and then there'll be a Q&A at the end, and we're also going to talk about our membership site. And the other thing too is if you are new to Bendable Body and you're considering joining us inside the membership, we have a gift for everybody who comes live that's signing up for the first time or signing up again after a while, new subscribers. If you're here live, we're going to give you a code for 30% off the membership for 3 months if you sign up for the monthly, and for a year if you sign up for the yearly. So that's a gift we're giving today just for showing up live. And I wanted to just say that at the beginning so that I'm not, dangling some carrot during the entire webinar. So that's really all I have to say. Is there anything else you think I need to get them dialed in on? Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to John and I will be back. But for now, I hope you're ready to stretch. Really good idea if you have a yoga mat. If you don't, no big deal. Bit of wall space is always a little bit helpful. If not, no big deal. But we encourage you to stretch with us because this is a physical modality. So take advantage of the time here and actually stretch. Okay? Okay.
Okay, welcome everybody. Uh, so we're going to start stretching, and then we'll be stretching, and we'll be talking about fascia and how this exercise, the stretching method, is different than all the other stretching exercises and methods that we've been taught, in grade school and high school, and if we've gone further in our exercise. So let's. So this first few stretches, we're going to check out our knees and see what changes in our positioning, in our movement, and our strength. Okay, so we're going to check in first. So the first thing, now not everybody can do this. If you're able to, you sit down on the floor, and some people might just be able to get down a little bit, but just check out what's going on in your knees. You feel any tightness? You might feel it in your back, but the joint we're going to affect by these stretches are going to be the knees. So just feel what's going on there. Now, in the standing position, we're going to kick our heel up, right? We're just going to kick our heel up and see what, just feel how it feels. Okay. And then kick the other leg up. You might notice that they're a little different. Okay. And so that's a check-in with movement. The first one was position. Now this next one, we're going to do a very mini lunge. Okay. Just a little step forward, and then let that leg push you back. A little step forward, and just and see how that feels. Okay. And we'll do the other leg. These are these 3 little check-ins we're doing. This last one here is the mini lunge. Little step forward, push yourself back, and just see how that feels, okay? Now we have a reference point, okay? What we're going to go over are the 4 pillars of a stretch. What this technique of bendable body is, it's called resistance stretching, all right? Now, we're going to do some standing hamstring stretches. Okay. And so if you have a chair nearby or a couch or something to hold on to a table, okay, because it's not about balancing yourself. We're creating resistance. And so we want leverage and positioning. And let's stretch our left leg, the back of our left leg. So let's take a little step forward. All right. Um, we're going to stretch our central hamstring. We have three hamstrings. Okay. So the knees want to be bent. They need to be bent in this. Okay. You can flex your foot in the front if it's comfortable for you to do. So this is pillar one, the position. So we're in the start position. Pillar two is the resistive force we're going to create. So this is the target muscle, the back of the front leg. And the resistance is pulling our heel like back and down into the ground, but it's not going to move. And when you pull your heel back, you can feel the back of your leg tighten up. It engages. That's pillar two. That's the resistance. Pillar three is making the movement with resistance. We're resisting the entire time. We're lengthening this hamstring. And we're going to fold forward to do so. So pull your heel back, pull your heel back, pull your heel back, pull your heel back. As you fold forward, pillar four, let it go. Come back to the start. All right. So let's do that again. Bend the knees. You got the left foot in front of the right. You're going to pull that heel back, pull that heel back, pull that heel back, and let it go. Okay. So our stretching, we do repetitions, right? If any of you have done any type of exercise, there are usually repetitions involved, right? Let it go. Pillar one is the start position. Pillar two, create that resistance. Pillar three, resist, resist, resist as you stretch, and then let it go. So for this stretch, it's the central hamstring. And as you fold forward, don't let your head drop. You'll lose resistive force. Just let your head move with your neck and shoulders and torso. A couple positioning. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep pull back, pull back, pull back. Let it go. So you want to keep your hips square. You want to keep the ribs in your body. Any cue or positioning recommendation that I give you, it's simply to create more resistive force, okay? Let it go. Let's keep going. Let's do about another 6 or 7. Let it go. Now, the breathing suggestion is breathe in and out through your nose. For general exercise, is that you exhale on the exertion and then inhale on the return. Let it go. Stay with it. Stay with it. We're going to do just a couple more. Let it go. Central hamstring on the left leg. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, just shake the leg out, check it out, and just see what you notice before we do any of these little check-ins. You might notice that the front of your hip is a little more open on that side. Your foot is maybe a little softer on that side. You know how when you get older, the feet get harder? When you change the hamstrings, the feet get softer. It's just one of the many benefits. The shoulders back a little bit. Okay. Now the first check-in, let's kick our heel up and then kick the other leg up. And then you can compare the two. I'm feeling a little more acceleration. It's a little quicker, right? It can go maybe a little higher. And then the leg that we didn't stretch, it feels like there's something back there. Can you like something that's stuck in the leg that we didn't stretch, but the leg we did stretch, we've taken something away. Now you can make comments if you want and say, I feel that too, or I feel this. You just give us some of your feedback. Now let's do that little mini lunge and check the strength of the leg. So let that leg go forward and let the leg push you back. Okay. Step forward, let the leg push you back. And then go to the other leg. Wow. It's so much easier to do, right? on the leg we just stretched, the leg pushes you back, right? You don't rely on the body to come back. So we've created more strength. Can you feel that? That leg just got stronger. Now for position, if you go back down and you sit down, kind of sense in. Now, what I feel is the leg that we didn't stretch. It feels a little tight. And it feels like there's a little bit of space in the knee of the hamstring of the leg we stretched. Okay? So, just see what you notice. And that was one set. We probably did about 18 or so repetitions, right? And we got stronger, we got more flexible, we created space in the knee. It helped the positioning of our pelvis. As we'll mention in a little bit, there's a connection between muscles and organs. So that was the brain meridian. It helps improve the health of your brain, central nervous system. So that has a big impact on our knees. Okay. Now, what's happening with these movements? I'm just going to take a moment and I'll get a little closer. Now, typically when we stretch our hamstring, what do? You put your leg there, it's straight, and you bend forward, right? Right? Isn't that what we're all taught to do? And see how far we can go. The further we go, the more flexible we are. We're not doing that at all. We're creating resistive force, engaging the muscle we're stretching, continuing to engage it, continuing to engage it, continue, resist, 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 and let it go. Why is that important? Why is that movement important? And I'm going to just get a little closer and we're going to stretch more. But this is where the fascia comes in. What's the fascia? Some people, I'm sure maybe after watching the tutorials, everybody kind of knows or has an idea of what's going on with the fascia. And maybe, let me see here. Definitely foot and ankle are happier on that side. Yep. Yep. We got some change. Thanks. And the muscle is stretching for the first time ever. All the other stretching techniques, PNF, ART, dynamic, and they're creating micro tears in your tissue. Now, I'm just the messenger here. And when you create micro tears in your tissue, in the muscle fibers, right, by overstretching them, the immune system has these white blood cells and they respond to the micro tears and they patch up the tears. Now that those tears that are just patched up, that tissue gets harder and harder. So the muscle that's contracting, right? What do we do? The muscle contracts, boom, boom. We need it to work and for strength. It doesn't have the strength because imagine taking your muscle and pouring cement into it. Well, then it can't contract and shorten. It can't lengthen either. It can't. That's what unhealthy fascia is. It's hardened, dry, thick tissue that slows us down, causes pain, digestive issues, all organ problems, brain fog, everything. And now there's many ways to address all these symptomatic things, but in terms of your tissue being supple, being able to move better, get out of pain, and continually get stronger and stronger, these are the movements that need to be made. And what happens is, I'm going to use my hands to demonstrate the contraction. So our muscles are relaxed, and then we resist, right? Say we contract, and the muscle contracts into itself. We keep the contraction, and then we're lengthening, 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 and it shears off at about a 45 up to a 90-degree angle, and then it goes back. That fascial tissue, it doesn't just go straight like that. If you passively lengthen it, it pulls like that. And then we relax. And then when we weight lift, it just contracts and we let go. We contract and we let go. But these movements are a little more sophisticated in terms of they contract, we keep the contraction, and we keep the contraction, and it shears off at about, like I said, about a 45-degree angle or more. And that's the internal exfoliation of the dense tissue. So with many, many repetitions, you can reduce and eventually get rid of scar tissue, accumulated dense fascia. And so now the muscles, they work better. They go into a better alignment. The connected organ, large intestine, lung, heart, small intestine, any organ you want to work on has a connected and associated muscle. And so our system, 16 muscle groups, 8 in the arms, 8 in the legs. And it's really all about the fascia in terms of getting better health and getting stronger. And of course, more flexible. So let's continue here and we'll do a set of central hamstrings on our other leg. Okay. So now I do hamstrings just about every day for myself, so we talked about the fascia. We know a little bit about the fascia, right? We went over the 4 pillars of a stretch, which we'll do again. So let's take our right foot, put it in front of our left, bend the knees a little bit, and my foot straight ahead because we're getting the central hamstring. So your foot wants to be straight ahead. Pull the heel back, pull the heel back, pull the heel back, and fold forward. Pull the heel back, pull the heel back, and let it go. And go at your own pace. Create as much resistance as you like. Okay. But as you fold forward, you want to feel that heel continually pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, pulling back, and let it go. So we have really two main things going on here. We have a muscle that we're stretching, and so you want to know the muscle you're stretching. And it's the central hamstring on the back of the leg. And now we want to know how to resist. So we're using our heel to pull back, heel to pull back, heel to pull back, and let it go. Now I'm using this chair for balance because if I don't have the chair there, I'm a little wobbly. Okay, I'm a little wobbly. And why does that matter? Well, you want leverage and steady positioning to keep the engagement of that muscle and that fascia so that you can change that tissue. See, we don't always have to add more force to create a bigger change. It's through positioning and then finding where, so in the start position, right, we start, I pull back. As soon as I pull back, my body turns toward the right. Well, I'm going to counter that a little bit. I'm not going to, not much. I'm just going to pull a little back toward the left, right? Because if I pull to the right and let my body go to the right, I have X amount of force. But if I'm aware that my body gets pulled in that direction, then I adjust it just a little bit, I have X plus, 2. I have an exponentially more resistive force. So go where your attention goes. You're constantly making these little adjustments in your hips and head and neck. Let's keep going. Again, we'll do about 6 or 7 more reps. Breathing in and out through your nose. Stay with it. Stay with that resistance. Let it go. Now, I do recommend when you level your pelvis out, I say tuck your tailbone, but when you tuck it, it's actually just barely level. Because that creates more force and less substitution. So we're going after the hamstring. We're not stretching our lower back, even though this stretch will help our lower back. Keep going, just a couple more. Stay with it. Stay with it. Okay, all right, shake it out and check in and see what you notice. I'll tell you what I notice. Foot softer. I feel a little bit in that back, the shoulder dropped a little bit. This is a little more open in the front. Okay. And we'll do that little lunge and see. Yeah, more options for movement when that leg goes forward. This little mini lunge here, right? stronger. You got stronger. And then the movement, a little quicker. But I like that something disappeared back here, right? That tough tissue, the muscle that wasn't shortening properly. And then if we do our position check, um, yeah, it's not as tight, right? It's just quiet. I don't have any sensation there at all. So another thing about the fascia and the muscles is that when we have joint pain, knee, ankle, neck, spine, wrist, shoulder, there's a compression in the joint. That makes sense, right? The bone shaves down, the cartilage disappears. There's no more meniscus. There's like, why does it all disappear? Why? I mean, we're not lifting, hundreds of pounds a day where we're getting compressed. It's the fascia in the muscles between the bones that gets harder and they don't shorten. But we keep walking, we keep sitting, we keep doing our activities, we keep exercising. And so the force goes into the joint. The muscle's not creating the force. Okay. Just so you know, the fascia is the deal. And these are the only movements that are going to change that fascia. Very, very powerful. Two opposing forces going together. Now, I want you all to know, because really we all should know this, the number one problem solving tool to fix your shoulder, elbow, knee, hip is what we call the balancing muscle principle. Like I said, we had 16 muscle groups in the body, 8 in the arms and legs, 8. So we just stretch the central hamstring, the back of the leg. Where do most knee injuries happen? On the front here, the ACL. There's the LCL, the lateral, the MCL, the medial. It's not coming from a tight hip flexor. It's not coming from a tight quad. The injury in the knee, if it's on the front center, is coming from the back center. And like we mentioned, it's because the muscle on the back won't contract and shorten. Now I'm simplifying it, saying contract and shorten, but there's also a rotational component at the hip and knee and ankle and spine, of course, that happens every time a muscle contracts. It's not just that it shortens. It's that it shortens and it rotates properly, and then the other muscles participate. So what we want to do now is go into the shoulders. All right, we're going to do a stretch for our shoulders, and we're going to just make some simple movements, bring our arm up in the air, put one arm, the other arm, and just see how that feels, okay? See how that feels. And now, put arms about shoulder height here, the elbows, and then let them come back. All right, just hold on, and then feel, and you feel like, a little stretch here in the chest, okay? And see what that feels like. Now, for the strength component, we're going to do like a mini push-up. We can do it off our knees. You can, all right? And we're going to feel into our shoulders and chest and neck and see how that feels. So, just I'm on my knees, right? You can put your knees under your hips if you just want to see how that feels. And just do a couple, push-ups. You don't have to go far, right? You can just feel what you feel, any tension or any, over effort, or it's really hard to do. Now, let's stretch the outside of the shoulder. So we're not going after the chest, we're going after the outside of the shoulder. And this is called large intestine. It's connected to our large intestine. So it's a large intestine muscle group. It's a deltoid right along here. So we're going to put up our right arm at about a right angle, shoulder height. I'm going to, have it out to the side a little bit in front of you and out to the side. Now grab the elbow with your left hand. Grab the elbow, like right, the fingertips on the outside, the fingers are on the outside. Now your arm that you're stretching is going to go that way, but the helper arm is going to pull, resist, 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 and then let it go. Pillar 1 is the start position. Pillar 2 is the resistance we're creating. Keep resisting. Pillar 3 is the stretch with resistance. And then pillar 4, let it go and come back to the start. And in this position, you want to relax your knees a bit. Just kind of bend them at the touch. Resist and let it go. Start with the elbow and arm out to the side. And notice after you do a few reps, you can bring it actually out further. Let it go. You can relax the wrist and hand of the arm you're stretching. Breathing in and out through our nose. Keep those ribs in your body. Stay with it. So, if a person had digestive issues, you're constipated, you stretch your large intestine muscle, a couple sets every day, you're going to have consistent, easier bowel movements. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let it go. Resisting to start. Resist, 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 and let it go. Just a couple more. Just a couple more. All right, all right, all right. Shake it out. Now, just before we check in with our little position, how does it feel? What do you notice? I mean, you can look in the mirror too. I can see that the shoulders dropped more, feels more relaxed, a little more space in the neck here. It's also good for neck pain and shoulder joint pain. So now let's lift our arms up, and I can see in the camera, I can feel in the shoulder. As I bring the arms up, the arm comes closer to my head, right? This one, not so much. This one gets closer. So there's a range change. It's easier to do. It goes up a little quicker and all that. Now, let's put our arms here and let's let the arms go back. Okay, I feel the tightness here, but I don't feel it here, right? I have to go back much further on the right. I still don't even feel it. There it is. See how much further? So you get immediate changes in your flexibility. The muscles work better, so you have more movement. Now that strength thing we checked out with this reverse, the push-up. So let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's see what happened. Wow. I was going to say, can you feel that? I don't feel anything in that shoulder. Can you feel there's more space in the shoulder joint and there's tension and tightness on the shoulder we didn't stretch? Okay, we're creating strength. This is the greatest form of strength training there is. I've had athletes tell me they'll never lift another weight again after getting significantly stronger and doing this and so on and so forth. You'll realize that as the days go by. So you get more strength, you get more flexibility, all because we're changing that fascia. And for this stretch, notice that the chest got stronger because this push-up requires our chest to contract and shorten, our chest to contract and shorten, but we didn't stretch the chest. We stretched the balancing muscle. So we want you to take away what fascia is, how to stretch the four pillars, the balancing muscle for your basic problem solving, basic knowledge everyone should know. Unfortunately, they don't, so we're learning it now. And so now that would help your shoulder. It maybe help it a little bit, but the more you do, the better it gets. So the other thing is with fascia, you want to address not only all 16 muscle groups, but the densest tissue in the body. And the densest tissue in the body are the hamstrings in the back here, particularly the lateral hamstring, which we'll stretch in a moment. And then up in the neck, back of the neck, and shoulders. Generally speaking, the muscles by design are striated and tendinous on the back of the body. So they want to change in order for anything else to get better. Now, individually, if we've had accidents over the years, and then we have scar tissue in certain places, we can address that also. But generally speaking, what we find over and over, and I've been doing this 20 years, and I worked with Bob Cooley, who was doing it 20 years before I came along. Hamstrings, hamstrings, hamstrings. Lateral hamstring is the bladder, which we're going to do next. The central hamstring, which we did, was the brain. And then the medial hamstring is the spleen pancreas, the back inside. Bladder is a big deal because, usually people in their 40s, at least in their 50s, start getting up more frequently to go to the bathroom during the day and at night when they're sleeping. So this is the lateral hamstring we're going to stretch now is bladder. The connected organ is bladder. Number one stretch to improve your back pain is the lateral hamstring for bladder. Okay. Now we're going to do it the same way we did the brain. Let's take a little step forward with our left foot. Now the difference being, we want to turn that front leg out. I'm going to give you a front view. So this was the central hamstring, foot straight ahead, resist, come back. We're going to turn that foot out a little bit, just slightly. That left foot is going up toward about 11 o'clock. Okay, knees are bent, square them up, keep those ribs in, pull that heel back, pull that heel back. Stay with it, and then let it go as you come back up. So we're getting the lateral hamstring now. Now, in terms of the support, I have it on my right side. And if your support is on the opposite side, you have an opportunity to use your hand to feel what's going on in your tissue. Tuck your tailbone, resist, 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 and let it go. And always go where your attention goes. Again, there are two things going on. We're stretching our lateral hamstring, so our attention is there. We're creating resistance by pulling our heel back, okay? And then where does your attention go? My attention goes to my head going down and to the left. So I noticed that. So I'm going to go down and go to the right a little bit, just a little bit over to the right. And that creates more resistance. Now I'm noticing the ribs are coming out a bit, so I'm going to keep them in, and that creates more resistance. Now I'm changing the positioning of my feet slightly. That's just where my attention goes. And so in doing that third instruction, where does your attention go? That helps you to develop so much faster. Instead of doing something exactly rote every single time. Now, it looks like I'm doing the exact same thing every time, and if someone's observing from the outside, might not be able to tell the difference. Keep going, keep going. We're going after this lateral hamstring. Breathing in and out through our nose. Stay with it, stay with it. By putting your hand on your hamstring or the muscle that you're stretching, you'll get a greater change because the fascia is not wired to the brain like all the other tissue. So now your hand's feeling this proprioception function that we have, and it's telling the brain, oh my God, that muscle's tight. Let's do a couple more. Stay with it, stay with it. Okay, all right, all right. Now, shake it out a little bit, check it out. Check it out. The front of the leg and the groin area are contracting much better. We stretch the back outside, and I notice this. What do you notice? That leg's stronger. That foot's pushing off the ground more. Can you feel that? Can you feel that? Let's do that little mini lunge. Wow. Stronger yet again. You can actually have an option to hang out in the end range there, and the leg is just so much stronger. What's going on here? Yeah, we erased more dense tissue to the extent that we did, and there's more space in the back of your leg. Can you feel that? Okay, let's do the other side. Lateral hamstring. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my support on that side. I'm going to put my right foot forward. So now my hand can't touch it, but let's see what happens. What happens when you support, you have the support on the side of the leg you're stretching. Let's turn that foot out a little bit, bend your knees, square your hips, have the right foot in front just a little bit. Now, I can get my weight over, and that helps to create more force. Do you notice that? Now I can get the weight, and it's generating more force than if it was over here. I can't lean this way because I'll fall over or pull a chair. So there's benefits to feeling the muscle and having it change that way, and there's benefits to having a position change. Now I'm tucking the tailbone, I'm going right over that. Now, if this chair wasn't here, I would fall over this way. Given the position I'm doing, let it go. And notice when you're able to generate more force, it's harder to do. And the more force you generate, the more resistance you create, the less range you have. But it's about resistance and changing the fascia. It's not because we see a lot of people, you might be one of these, right? You naturally, maybe you were very flexible your whole life and you're just going like this, boom. And you're going down. And that's not what you notice that you're losing the resistance or you're possibly not even creating the resistance at the start. So the four pillars, I'll go over it again. The start position, we're in the start position. Pillar two, create that resistance, pull that heel back, pull that heel back. Now keep pulling that heel back, keep pulling that heel back, and let it go. So it's a workout. You get to generate maximal force. You eliminate the pain because the joints are suspended by these fantastic movements our body can make. Let it go. Let's do a few more. Let it go. Bladders, bladders, bladders all day. They're the toughest tissue in the body. Want to give Sita some time here to tell you what we got going on here at Bendable Body. Okay, all right. All right. What's happened? What changed? Softer foot, feel like they, wants to bounce a little bit. Shoulder went back and dropped. And again, I feel space on the front inside of the leg. That's a balancing muscle group. That little lunge, boom, plenty of options. The foot's softer. The foot is softer. So when the foot's softer, it can stay on the ground longer when you're walking. Stays on the ground longer, stays on the ground longer. You would think it would be better to move more quickly if the feet like kind of hit and like bounced very quickly. They did a test. I don't know if any of you are sports fans, but Usain Bolt, fastest human in the world for 12 years. Nobody could compete with the guys. He's simply the fastest of all time. They did a test down at the University of Houston where they ran on a treadmill and they brought like the top 5 sprinters in the world. He was one of them. And what they found was his foot stayed on the ground longer than the other 4 guys. Just the opposite of what you would think. This is the fastest guy in the world. You think if you're going, his foot hits the ground, lands on the ground, stays on the ground, because he has more muscles contracting in his legs. And that's what we're doing here at Bendable Body. So as we get older, we'll have better and better balance. So that was the two of the 3 hamstrings on the back of the leg. Let's do the other shoulder. Okay, let's do the large intestine on the left side. Let's grab our elbow, right? Grab the elbow, right? You want your hands going around there. Elbows out to the side. Now we're going to resist and pull the arm here to stretch the outside of the shoulder and then let it go. Breathing in and out through your nose. Noticing where your attention goes in your body and your positioning. Again, so that you can make any adjustments you need to make to get better position and more force. And not only more force, but when you start to go where your attention goes and make these little adjustments, you're compensating less. You're substituting less. And your attention is going where the substitution is. So that's a really important thing to do in general during your exercise or activities throughout the day. Let it go. Breathing in and out through your nose. Kind of bend those knees a little bit. Bring those ribs in. Right? Let it go. The large intestine also regulates and is in charge of the blood pressure in our body. So if the blood pressure is too high, the blood pressure is too low, this is a muscle group that you would stretch to help regulate it. Let's do a few more. Let it go. Okay. All right. Shake it out. First thing I notice is the chest is more open. and we didn't stretch the chest, right? We stretched the back of the shoulder and the chest opened up. That's a really good example and thing to experience because everyone thinks I'm too tight, my muscles won't lengthen. And we just stretched a muscle and it shortened. Do you see how we're going to learn more and more about our body and get a better body while it happens? So these are all really significant movements, discoveries, and basically advancements in your skeletal that are going to, you know, literally gracefully go into old age. Something to do for the rest of your life that won't wear out your joints. Do exactly the opposite. So Seeth is going to come back on. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear what you have to say. And
Hi, everyone.
we got a few questions here.
I'm gonna go into the membership first. Can everybody hear me? Can I go ahead and get a thumbs up? Great. So we're really excited that you guys are here, and here's the plan for the remainder of the time. It's 10:40. We always try and do this within a full hour, but it tends to go over by 10, 15 minutes. So I'm going to tell you about the membership. I'm going to give you your free gift, and then John is going to answer all your questions. Okay, so that's where we're at, and we're going to shoot for 20 minutes. Let's see how we do. Okay, so first and foremost, I need to share my screen. All right, now I need to get into the membership. Nope, not there. Hold on, bear with me. I'm sure we have some people who are equally as bad at everything to do with computers as me. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes. Is that a yes? Great. Okay. So this is our membership program. It's called the Bendables, and I'm going to just take you through it a little bit so you know what it includes and what you get should you decide to join us. It's an online program. It has over 400 on-demand videos, which right when I said that, a big alarm bell could have gone up in your head and been like, 400 videos? What am I supposed to stretch with 400 videos? You're not meant to do all 400, but by virtue of the fact that it has that many, everybody's needs are met inside the membership. So I'm just going to kind of take you through it. One of the primary categories that you would visit when you join is the tutorials. These are short, succinct videos that go over the technique. Much of which John covered today, but it's an opportunity for you to watch it at a slower, pace that works for you. And they also have accompanying ebooks. So this is the page where you make sure you've got the technique down. Another really popular page is the stretch flows page. So this is a number, I think there's over 30 stretching videos that range in time from 10 to 40 minutes, but most of them are in the 15 to 20-minute range. And they target common issues like hips and knees and low back and shoulders and wrists. And then there's also some, other interesting ones in here, like there's a facelift flow, a spring flow, a metabolism flow. So that's a pretty popular page. The single stretches page is also pretty popular. This is all of the individual stretches that are on the site. So, you can find a stretch for the top of your shoulders, for your quads, for the lateral hamstring, the medial hamstring, whatever it may be. There are 16 muscle groups in the body, 8 in the lower and 8 in the upper. You'll notice that each stretch is called by an organ first. That's because I think John touched on this briefly. The stretches align with meridian channels and target organs. So when you're stretching your IT band, for example, which is something that people love to stretch, you're also improving the health of your gallbladder and your fat metabolism and your digestion. So that's pretty sweet. And so people often, I tell this to people a lot, people often come to us for an area in the body. A lot of times it's the joints because that's where the wear and tear shows up. But, it could be a tight IT band or tight quads or tight hamstrings or knee pain, whatever. But then once they get going, they're like, oh my God, wait, I can improve my digestion. I can improve my blood pressure. I can improve, my immune system. And the answer is yes. It's an amazing method that way. So we always indicate what organ is being impacted with a given stretch. The search index. So this is a pretty cool page. There are, I think, over 160 terms here that you can search, and all the stretches will come up. And you see, we include things like emotional concerns and physiological concerns like, cold hands and feet. All the stretches that are going to help with that come right up. Or if it's something a little bit more straightforward, like calves, that tends to be a tight area for people. All the stretches and videos that are going to help with that. See, we've got a lot of them come right up. So that's a really great page. Another important page, so I'm just going to call this out right away because if you're thinking, I can't get down on the ground, we have a standing and seated section only on the site. So if you are not at a place where you can get down on the ground, this is a wonderful option for you to get started. However, our money is on you ultimately getting down on the ground as you stretch. So we've got you covered as well. The other thing I want to talk about is the two programs inside the membership, and they're super popular. The first is called 30-day programs. So it's 30 days targeting a specific issue, and we're constantly adding new ones. Right now, we have, looks like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 of them up here, but knee, shoulder, hip, low back, neck, hands and feet, sciatic nerve, and plantar fasciitis. So if any of these are your issue and you want to go after it, full force, we've got 30, it's not quite 30 days. It's 4 weeks, 5 days a week, 20 minutes a day. So that's all set up in here. And then we also have what we call the super year program. It's a year long full body overflow, overhaul. And so this is, 52 weeks of guided instruction on what to do on a weekly basis so that your whole body gets addressed, including, as John was mentioning, the stiffest tissue in the body, as well as all of the areas that would be possibly specific to you in terms of an injury or that kind of thing. So that's a really wonderful resource and program inside the membership, and people love it. People repeat it year after year because the body just keeps on changing. The last thing I want to bring your attention to is live classes. So your membership does come with some bonus live Zoom classes weekly with John. And if you can't attend those live, the recordings get saved here. You can see these are where the recordings are. We have monthly challenges for members. So those are 3 to 5, usually 3 days in a row. We call it a challenge because you're showing up 3 days in a row and targeting stiffest tissue. We also have special events where we invite guest speakers and they come and they give talks, or we give workshops for members. So all of those recordings get saved to the membership if you can't come live, but you do get that with your membership. Two other really key things that come with the membership is under every single video inside the program, there's a place for you to leave a comment or ask a question. And John and I check these daily. Our members are really important to us. This is a small company. John and I are the only people that you're interfacing with. We're both the co-founders. We have a lot of experience. We check this daily. And so we are with you on this journey. We want to see you get results. If something's not happening, if it's not working for you, we're going to jump on a Zoom call with you and figure it out. We don't want to see you go away empty-handed because there's really no need for that. And like I said, been doing it for a while, so we usually know the roadblocks that happen for people, and we can move those out of the way pretty quickly as long as you tell us. And so the comments area is a really good place to do that. And then we also have a members only Facebook group, which is pretty cool because we have a great community, and that's where you can interface with people and meet them and share ideas. And some people pair up and stretch together and, that kind of thing. Okay, so today, if you join today and you're live, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. We've got an offer for you. It's a gift more than an offer. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Okay. I'm going to put these two codes. So I have just put two codes in the chat. They're coupon codes. And now I'm going to put the join link for joining the membership. It's in the chat. So you got to go and copy this down right now. Or you can just click on the link for joining, and then you could copy and paste those two codes, because the only people that have this code are you. and it's only good valid for today and tomorrow, and it's 30% off. So if you join for the monthly, oh, I should tell you about the pricing. Sorry about that. So what does the membership cost? It is normally $45 a month. It's auto renew. You pay every month as long as you're a subscribed member, or you can pay by the year. Also auto renew. You keep paying yearly unless you cancel. That's 450. So what's the benefit of year versus month? You save money if you sign up for the year. So you basically save $90. You get 2 months free in that 12-month period if you sign up for a year. We don't offer refunds. So if you're on the fence, you definitely want to just commit to the monthly because it's not a big commitment. You can always upgrade later to the yearly. Um, but today, for everybody that showed up live, the gift we're offering is 30% off for 1 year, your first year, if you sign up for the yearly, 30% off for 3 months if you sign up for the monthly, your first 3 months. And the code will be good at the checkout for today and tomorrow. And there's the code. It's not going to come in an email. I'm not going to give it to anybody else. It's only for the people that come live. So if you want to join, you should grab that gift because everybody likes a deal. I know I do. So let me just make sure I've covered everything on pricing. Yep, $45 a month, $450 for the year, auto renew, cancel whenever you want. If you're on the fence, sign up for the monthly because it's not a big commitment. Definitely take advantage of the coupon because you save 30% for your first 3 months for the monthly, for your first year for the yearly. Then it would start with our normal pricing. And yeah, I mean, we're pretty straightforward. It's John and I, and we are here to help you stretch and help you learn this method and help you solve the problems that you're having. And so we'll be here with you. And of course, you can always send me an email with any questions. So we're going to now switch over to questions because that's everything that I have to say about the membership. And let me just kind of find my way back to the beginning here where the questions are starting. Somebody asked how to stretch the IT band, and you want me to kind of man this, and you can, or you want to man this?
No, I'll do the key. I'll do a small
Okay, so
key.
I'll kind of keep an eye on the side to the questions, so you can put your questions in the chat now. We're moving on to questions.
Okay, so there's multiple ways. So we did a central hamstring stretch, a lateral hamstring stretch. We did brain, bladder, large intestine. There's at least five, six, or more ways to stretch each muscle group. So I'm going to show you a way to stretch the IT band. Okay, the gallbladder. IT band runs along the gallbladder meridian electrical current. Okay, so you want to put your support on the side of the body that you're going to stretch. I'm going to stretch my right leg. The chair's on my right side. Cross over your right foot over your left knee. The right foot wants to be flexed. So we're going to stretch the outside of this right leg. I am going to take my left hand and hold on to my ankle, the front of my ankle here, okay? This lower leg is going to press into this standing thigh right above the knee, okay? So we're in the start position. Now the resistance. Press your lower leg into your thigh, right? And you feel the IT band engaging. Keep resisting as you sit down and then relax on the way up. Okay? So the lower leg's pressing into your thigh. Your lower leg can also press into your hand. Resist, and then relax on the way up. And then, where does your attention go? Where does your attention? Let it go. Breathing in and out through our nose. Let it go. So we're stretching our IT band. So the gallbladder regulates the digestion of fat in our body. It also determines the health of our ligaments throughout our body. Helps with low back pain along the belt line. Let it go. Let's keep going. Let's do a few more. Resist. Relax on the way up. Resist on the way down. Okay. All right. Check it out. Check it out. What do you notice? That leg feels straighter, stronger. I feel a little more internal rotation of the thigh. Help the shoulder a little bit. Some space in the back of the shoulder. Yeah, there's a lot more force coming from that leg. Yeah, I don't have it on the other leg, but that leg, yeah, that leg's engaging better. So again, this workout makes you stronger and stronger and stronger. So that's how you do an IT band stretch. Any more questions?
Yeah, definitely. I forgot to add whenever we have one of these special enrollments, we always give out bonuses. And so if you click on the membership join page that I put in the chat a couple times now, you'll see all the bonuses. I won't take the time kind of going through all those right now. You guys can read about them. Okay, so let's get to questions. Let's see. When I stand after sitting for even a short time, often my ankles are really sore and stiff. Seems the stretches we did are helpful for my ankles. Any other suggestions?
You're right. Specifically, the lateral hamstring, the bladder stretch, helps to regulate movement at the ankle joint. And so remember the problem, number one problem solving thing we talked about was the balancing muscles. So the lateral hamstring is the back of the leg and it's the back outside of the leg. That's balanced by the kidney meridian, the kidney muscle group, which is the front and front inside of the leg. So if you would stretch, and I'll show you just a simple stretch for the kidney, the groin. You could cross your foot over your leg, bring your knee up into your body. And I like to, so I'm going to push it away against resistance, but I'm going to use my other hand to support the back. So we're stretching the groin here, the left leg. I'm going to take my right arm and push, 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 and then relax on the way back. Bring in as close to you can as possible. Resist, 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 and then bring it in. Resist, 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 pushing it out. Relax on the way in. And I'm using my left hand to help bring it in even further because on its own, it can go here, but with the help of this hand, it can come up to here. And so it can resist there, but it can't get there on its own. Let's do a couple more. Yeah, so that's how you would stretch the kidney. So the kidney bladder, those two muscle groups will help with sitting's terrible. As long as you're sitting, we're always going to have some kind of problems with the knees, back, hips. And so the more you stretch, the more comfortable your body will be sitting. So that's, and if you get up, yeah, the ankle feels maybe a little stronger after doing kidney also. You might notice that. So that'll keep getting stronger and stronger.
So Ra's in or on I'm sure that's not your name, but Ontario, Canada, where we're in Reading, Connecticut, and we also work in New York City and Washington,
I have
D.C.
cousins in Ontario. Been up there a few times.
Um,
Great place.
okay, next question. My right arm has limited mobility. It's not painful. I can do things like touch my right hand to my right shoulder or use my right hand to rub my neck because I can't do things like touch my right hand to my right shoulder or use my right hand to rub my neck because it just stops. Any stretches to increase mobility in my arm?
Okay, so what movement do you want to make? You mentioned you want your right hand to touch your right shoulder
Or neck.
or neck. So you want to think in terms of what muscle has to shorten to produce that movement. Okay, so if I want to touch my shoulder, the front of my arm has to shorten, the bicep and chest. These muscles here have to shorten to do that. They also have to shorten to do this. Okay, so you would do chest stretches. So the lung meridian, the lung muscle group, the heart muscle group, the pericardium muscle group, they all run through the chest meridian. So let's do we'll do it at the wall. Single stretches. And again, you would do the balancing muscles in the back, but initially you want to go after the muscles that need to shorten. So let's put our right hand, we'll do about 6, 6, and 6, 3 different positions. Right hand's a little higher than your head, about the height of your head, fingers pointing out. You want to turn your body and face your hand against the wall. You can do it in a doorway too. What's going to happen here is keep a little bend in your elbow. Start with your shoulder in front of your hand. Press into the wall and across to the left as you simply move to the left. And then relax on the way back. Pillar 1 is our start position. Pillar 2 is our resistance, pressing in and across. keep pressing in and across as you move laterally. So we're not turning our bodies away. We're starting with the muscle short, we're moving laterally. The muscle lengthens this way. You can use your left hand to feel the chest muscles engage when you start to resist. And as you move to the left, they should stay engaged. But if you turn your body out, you'll lose the contraction and it will go into the joint. So let's do a couple more. With our hand in this position, we're improving the health of our lungs. Okay. All right. Now, next position is shoulder height. Same thing. Now we're putting our hand shoulder height. Bend those knees, get in a nice, comfortable athletic stance. Press your hand into the wall and again across to the left and move to the left. Press in and across to the left and move to the left. Tuck that tailbone, keep those ribs in the body, resist as you move to the left. Breathing in and out through our nose. Soften your hand, let it sink into the wall. All right. And now, third position, pericardium. Down low. And again, your body's on an angle facing your hand against the wall. Press in and across to the left as you move to the left. Press in and across to the left. Keep those ribs in, tailbone tucked. Breathing in and out through your nose. So these are 3 nice stretches for your chest and your bicep. Okay. Now, just shake it out a little bit. Shake it out. See, you notice arm feels a little longer, a little looser. Actually, feels a touch heavier because, well, the arms aren't that light. Now, if you go to touch your shoulder or your neck, is it a little better? Is there a little more range of motion? Because it's nice to check in and do it. So we recommend, and it's recommended that you do.
Yes, wow is the answer.
Yeah, yeah. So the more you do, the better it'll get. We recommend you do 3 sets. We just did 1 set. We did 1 set of lung, 1 set of heart, 1 set of pericardium. Interesting on the pericardium, I was just talking with someone the other day, and he's a few years older than me. We live up in the Northeast, and he's like, I'm getting ready to go to Florida. The winters are getting too cold. And I said, yeah, just the opposite for me. I haven't worn gloves in 2 years, and I used to wear mittens. Gloves weren't even warm enough because my hands were so cold. And you do pericardium stretches, and the blood will start flowing to your hands and feet. And your hands and feet will be warm all year long. And they'll get warmer and warmer and warmer. Everyone would love that because everyone's getting colder as they get older. The bodies are regulated. Of course, thymus stretches turns on your immune system, but kidney will help with body coldness. But I haven't done kidney to any length of time. But
So John, I'm just relishing in this moment that we're both doing something at the same time. It almost never happens with the babies.
I know.
But anyway,
You
it
don't
must
hear
be a
'em.
charmed hour. They're both sleeping. So next question, Jane. I am experiencing increased brain fog and fatigue with a sore throat and congestion since a recent mold exposure. Would really appreciate any helpful tips and support and detox for support and detox. So increased brain fog, fatigue, throat stuff from mold exposure.
So a couple of things there. I mean, we got brain fog, we got mold, we got fatigue.
Sore throat, congestion.
Sort of, well, brain fog. Let's just take a brain stretches will help, but what we find that are really helpful for brain fog are appendix stretches and small intestine stretches. Appendix stretches run along the lats, so our lat muscles, and when you do those, and even if you've had your appendix taken out, it still works. The body still does these functions when you do stretch these muscles. Takes toxicity out of the face and the brain and hyperoxygenates the tissue in the brain and face. Really great stretches for head injuries. Small intestine helps take the brain fog out. It's the muscles for the up top of the back of the shoulders. And of course, brain stretches. Mold, that's been associated with gallbladder stretches. That would help with that. Again, you want to detox and do the minerals you need to put in your body and things you don't want to put in your body, and you got to go through the detox But the a detox is the appendix for the face and the brain.
And liver for the rest of the body.
Liver can help for the rest of the body. Um, Fatigue, it's usually spleen pancreas is a big organ in terms of energy. And when you're fatigued, like the balancing muscle of pancreas stomach is good to do. What I did my first 2 years, I bought Bob Cooley's book. I went through all 16 stretches every day. I didn't know any trainers for the first few months, so I didn't have any guidance. So the guidance you have here is all these flows and targeted
And the
stretch
search
flows.
index. I think all of that is in the search index that you asked about.
Yeah, all those things. So there, yes, the answer, short answer is yes. There's stretches for your symptoms.
Okay. And I think a lot of them are self-explanatory too, because, there's just 16 organs and you would probably just be able to pick out, well, brain fog's probably going to be the brain. Congestion is going to be related to the lungs. So that kind of a thing. But then, of course, we can always help be more specific in the ways that John just described. Um, okay, next. Joy's shoulder issue. So hopefully what John just went through with the shoulder was really helpful because it's basically the same thing what you're describing, can't lift it up high.
Well, the
Um,
shoulders, if it's like that and the pain, you want to go after the tough tissue on the back.
okay, so
Um,
what Joyce is saying, I have a shoulder issue. I can't stretch my arm up high.
yeah, it won't go up high. So the appendix stretch I was just talking about. So when you bring your arm up, traps and shoulders have to shorten.
And someone's actually asking if you can demo a thymus stretch, so maybe now's a good time.
Well, I'll demo a sample. So this you stretch the thymus, the shoulders by let's put our right arm up, palm facing us. Okay, my arm slightly bent. This is this. Oh, and then we're going to grab our right hand wrist here with our left hand. Right, we're going to grab. See the grab it, and we're going to start here. The target arm's going up. The helper arm's going to pull down. And then you can relax on the way up, or you can help bring the arm up with the helper arm. So we're resisting, 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 and then relax on the way up. Resisting, again, get comfortable in your knees and your hips. Resist, 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 and relax on the way up. That's the movement that'll stretch these shoulder muscles with the thymus muscle group. And I'll demonstrate it on the ground. It's the same movement on the ground, but except we're going to use two arms. Okay, they're going to be forearms down, palms up. We're going to be sitting back, tucking our toes under. And we're going to make the same movement we just did standing, except we're pressing our arms down into the mat and in front of us. And we're going to move our body in that same direction. Resist as you move forward, relax on the way back. Resist on the way forward, and relax on the way back. That's a thymus stretch. And when you stretch that, that will help your arm go up more easily. But again, remember the balancing muscle, which is appendix, which are the lats. Same arm position, but we're pulling toward us for the lats, right? About shoulder width with the arms and hands, palms up. Lean forward to get into the start position. Pull the arms back toward the legs, pull the arms back toward the legs as you sit back, and then relax as you come forward. Resist on the way back. That pairing back and forth will help. It's a nice start. Thymus turns on your internal immune system, gets the white blood cells to be more active, improves the health of the lymph nodes. Any inflammation in the body will be reduced. You can eliminate inflammation with those thymus stretches.
So someone's saying, when I kneel, all 5 toes of the left foot touch the floor, but only the first 2 toes of the right foot touch. So the outside of the right foot remains a couple of inches above the floor. How to stabilize both feet. So she's like this on the right.
Oh, as you stand. Is that in the standing position?
Oh, when I kneel.
When you kneel, like we were just kneeling doing a
Oh,
stretch.
yeah, when she kneels.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you start with the hamstrings. So the lateral hamstring, the bladder, right? That electrical current, that meridian comes out to the pinky toe. The IT band, the gallbladder comes out to the second toe from the pinky toe. And then the third toe, it was always debatable whether it was sexual or stomach. But in any event, you want to change your hamstrings, right? You want to change all three, medial, central, and lateral. And then you want to stretch your quads and your IT band. And the more you stretch the quads, stomach, gallbladder, bladder, brain, all around here, the outside of that foot will start to relax and this foot will get softer and the toes will go down. But if it's kind of like hammer toe or they're coming up, the quads are really important in that aspect. The quads want to change.
Okay, so Julie is having the put your arm behind your back and unhook your bra shoulder issue.
Pericardium and skin. So what muscle wants to shorten when you do that? You're putting your arm behind your back. So then the back has to shorten. And so the skin stretch, that muscle group will have to shorten in order for you to get your arm in the position you want it to go into.
What muscles are skin?
Teres minor and major, and the tricep on the back of the arm. When they all shorten nicely, then your arm can go way back, and then you get that rotation that you need for your hand. Wow. I could never reach back there at all.
It's good you don't wear a bra. Anybody else got anything? So just gonna like say we call stretches by their organ, and you'll notice that inside the membership as well. But we always indicate the area of the body. So over time, as a member, it'll become like second nature that you are just naturally knowing that when you're stretching the IT band, for example, it's the gallbladder. And so that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, we could call it by the area of the body or the muscle groups,
But
but it's a very long name. And it's
well,
a little
sometimes they
word
were stretching our
association.
quads along the stomach
Yeah,
meridian.
right.
But the short answer is because the stomach stretches more than just the quads and the IT band and so on and so forth. So we just call it by the organ. It is a short name. But you'll know it. And you really should know what muscles are connected to which organs to improve your body in that way.
So, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm going to add the coupon codes for the gift that you have for attending live. So please copy those. I just added it again to the chat. And then let me put the membership link. Those are good for today and tomorrow only. Um, so you want to grab those if you want to join us and save 30% on either payment plans. You get to do that. Um, and we went through the membership. You get bonuses with this specific membership enrollment, and those are inside the sales page. You can click on that and you'll see what all of those are. Thank you, Jane. Lucy J. John cured his allergies. He did. Yeah, he used to have really bad allergies.
Really? Oh, quads against wall, stomachs. You get rid of your allergies. And the last one, the hardest allergy to get rid of was cats. And in the last 3 or 4 years, that's gone. I've recently stretched some people in their homes with like two cats, fur all over the place. Nothing, no run. No, it's the wildest thing.
We're even kind of surprised. Wait, looks like we got another question. Nancy, I've been doing this practice for some time now and will do every day for the rest of my life. I was a former, among other things, yoga instructor. I love this practice. Thank you, John and Sita. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
Yeah, all the
Nancy.
members that are here and the people that have been stretching with us. Thank you for being here.
Just
Thank
think
you,
of this as the
Maureen.
best gym on earth. And it's your body that's improving.
Yeah, it's really there's no like it's not like a shiny penny. This really is the real deal. It'll save you from so much pain and injury. It's the most effective and efficient way to exercise and to increase longevity, which is, the big desire out there is how do I improve my longevity?
And absolutely, the quality of life improves as soon as you start doing it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think a big hump for people to get over is, well, don't I need to strength train? Because that's definitely what the message is out there about longevity. And
we,
so, yeah,
well, the strength movement actually weakens your muscle, fatigues your muscle. So if it's, I don't know how many weightlifters are out there, but work your muscle to fatigue or failure, like if they're really into it. When you work the muscle to fatigue, you're working the organ to fatigue, and it takes 24 to 48 hours to recover. And then every other day you work this muscle group, every other day. So your body's in a state of constant fatigue, and the muscles are hypertrophying in a really weird way, and you're going out of alignment. Nobody has ever weightlifted their way to the NFL. The genetically endowed survive the required weightlifting in Division One, and even now some of the required weightlifting in high school. These movements are the most powerful movements your body will ever make, safest movements they'll make, and you can keep making them over and over and over. Every other movement we make, like tennis or even gardening or piano, eventually it's going to hurt. Or, it's like, oh, I can't do that anymore. Oh, single tennis turns into doubles, turns into pickleball, turns into bocce ball. And like this, you go in the opposite direction. And by the way, the strength movements we do, we call them a judicious use of strength only to get a better stretch. So we do acknowledge them, but you want to use them wisely in order to get a better stretch and get stronger.
And I think it also can be confusing because, stretching refers to a number of ways to stretch. And this is not traditional stretching. It's not yoga. It's not isometrics. It's not PNF. It's its own thing. And from our perspective, it's the correct way to stretch. It's the way that muscles really want to stretch because it targets the fascia. And in doing so, it's strength training. It's just a natural byproduct of the movement. So if your concern is, oh, I need to strength train, this is much more effective than strength training with zero wear and tear. So yeah, let's see what else we got here. We've got a few more comments. Ditto Nancy from Julie. The best system for travelers. Yeah, it's you don't require any tools. It's definitely a take it with you on the road kind of
Yeah.
thing. Um, okay, folks. So we went about 15 minutes over, not too terrible. I hope that you'll join us inside the membership. I hope you keep the questions coming, and I hope you continue to stretch in whatever capacity works for you.
Thanks for stretching with us and
Stretching
spending
with us.
time.
We'll see you guys.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.